Hi everybody, welcome to a very special Rosh Hashanah attitude adjustment with Rabbi Aharon attitude adjustment. I didn't think this could wait until after the Chag, so I wanted to get to you before the Chag. First of all, let me wish you all a very, very happy New Year. Gemar Chasima Toiva, may you be inscribed and sealed for a good year, for a year of prosperity, for a tremendous year of all that your heart desires, assuming everything your heart desires is what Hashem would have you have in your life. Now, this last Shabbos was one of my favorite parshiot. There's something in there that you should know about. Hashem literally said to the people of Israel, I give you this day a choice between good and evil, between a blessing and a curse. And I call the heavens and the earth as my witnesses. Choose life. That also goes without saying, that means choose the blessing, not the curse. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, what kind of an idiot would choose a curse? What kind of an idiot would choose death? Well, I'm going to tell you something. You'd be surprised. It's been a most eventful last 40 days, as you all know. There have been hurricanes, 3. A 4th one sitting out there, and a 5th one just came up behind it, named Maria. There's been earthquakes. There's been wildfires. There's been solar flares. There's been rioting and violence from a group of people who have come to Europe. And there's been rioting and violence even in the United States from people who live there who don't seem to be content with the fact that there's a way of doing things, and if you can't accept it, the alternative is not to fight. The alternative is to try to work within the system and to do better with it. It's been very, very difficult. Everybody I talk to lately, all the people who call me, say, Rabbi Aharon, it's getting so tough. They have problems with Parnasa. They have problems with their children. They have problems with everything in life that used to bring them pleasure is now difficult for them. Well, chin up. It's just a part of the times we're going through right now. The birth pangs of Mashiach, before Mashiach comes. You know, every year, well, before I go into every year, let me talk about who would be the people who would choose death, and who would be the people who would choose a curse instead of a blessing. Well, it goes this way. Hashem has been telling us for the last 3 or 4 weeks, these are the laws I've given you. Do them. If you do them, this will happen. If you don't do them, this will happen. He's been very clear. You know, if we have emunah, then we know this is something we have to accept. Emunah tells us that everything, including all these laws, come from Hashem. And everything has a purpose. And that purpose always is for our best. Hashem doesn't give us these things to burden us. He gives us these laws so that we can live a fulfilling life, a joyful life, a life that is full of everything that we want in it. So why don't we do them? Well, it's sad to say, but if you're the kind of person who is on the path, getting closer to Hashem, or if you're the kind of person who's been on the path and you're working hard to get to Hashem, then you are the people who have chosen the blessing. You've chosen life. For those who aren't there in any respect at all, who deny everything that Hashem says, who don't follow it because in their mind they don't need to follow it, well, they haven't made a choice, but de facto they have made a choice. They've made a choice for the other side, which is death and a curse. Maybe not literally, but certainly death on a emotional level, and on a physical level, no, but at every other level, yes. So, I'm going to give you my Rosh Hashanah appeal. Now, if you're from America, you are very familiar with this. I don't know about other countries in the world, but in America, when you sit down for Rosh Hashanah, there's usually a little card, about a 3x5 card, sitting right in front of you, or you might put your books. And what happens is, somewhere when the Rav gets up to give his shiur, either he or the president of the congregation makes the Rosh Hashanah appeal. They tell you that it takes money to run a shul. They ask you to be generous because it's a good time to be generous because it's Rosh Hashanah. They've got you at a great time. Their timing is perfect. And it's for your convenience, there are even amounts filled in. 10, 25, 50, 100, 200, 500, 1,000, 10,000. All you have to do is push a little piece of paper. You don't even have to break the Chag. Well, I'm going to give you a different Rosh Hashanah appeal today. If you're one of the people who is on the path going towards Hashem, maybe you just got there and you're just getting started. Good for you. This is great. You want to keep going. If you're one of the people who's already been on the path, don't stand where you are. Keep moving forward. And take somebody with you. A friend, a neighbor, a relative, anybody. Take somebody with you. I ask this question all the time. You'll be surprised at the answer I get. I ask people, which is heavier, a ton of feathers or a ton of bricks? And most people look me square in the eye and say, well, that's easy. Of course it's a ton of bricks. Well, it's a trick question. A ton, my friends, is a ton. Whether feathers, whether bricks, whether whatever. Now, the universe is in balance. There are two things that are holding us up, a lot of the Rav say, from Mashiach coming, from the coming of Messiah. What are these two things? One, Achdus, unity among the Jewish people. For heaven's sakes, do we always have to argue? Do we always have to fight? Do we always have to be so bloody right? Let's try for a little peace, a little bit of unity. And the other thing is getting closer to Hashem, all of us. That's why I say keep going and take somebody with you. Because you see there's a balance of the universe. Let's say there's feathers on this one side and there's bricks on the other side. And it's keeping a perfect balance. Well, if we want to get more people closer to Hashem, we have to keep taking them along the path. Visualize this as a feather moving across to sit on top of the bricks. One feather. And that will cause the bricks to go down because now it's no longer equal. And the more these feathers that come over, the quicker that ton of bricks sinks. Let's figure right now those ton of bricks are the side that we don't want to be on, and those feathers are the side we do want to be on, the side that brings us closer to Hashem. Get closer. Get closer every day. Bring someone with you. Let's bring Mashiach as soon as possible. Let's get out of what we've got going right now. You know, we've had an eventful 40 days. We've had all these things happening. Now there was a hurricane out in the Atlantic, which was called Jose, which is still called Jose. And Jose has moved around for a week, almost as if Hashem was giving us a chance to make teshuvah. So now it's moved on, and they're not sure exactly where it's going to go. They think it could hit the east coast of the United States, could do damage in the Carolinas, could do damage up in Massachusetts. But right behind Jose is a new one. It's called Maria. Maria's going to come right up and hit all the islands that have been hit before. And go where? Again, that could be in our hands, my friends. That could be in our hands. We do teshuvah. We bring ourselves closer to Hashem and Emunah. We could cause what could be a terrible disaster to literally roll out to sea and blow itself out. We have a lot of power in our words and our actions. Let's use them for the best in this new year. Lashana Tova Metuka, a very happy and sweet new year. Kama Chativa V'Chatima Tova. May you be written and sealed in a book of life for a good year, a year of prosperity, of good health, of happiness, of fulfillment, a life that you enjoy living. Be well, my friends. All the best.